Hello and welcome to Afterlife Topics and Metaphysics. This is Cyrus. Hope you're having a great day wherever in the world you happen to be. This is a channel where we talk about crazy stuff like astral projection and experiences on the other side, the other dimension, the other side of life, heaven, whatever it is you want to call it. Many different names for the same thing, which is the place that we're all basically on a one-way ticket. We're all going there, and we're trying to figure it out on this channel. So this is just an interesting experience I had last night. Thought I'd share it for anybody who may benefit from this type of stuff. Before we go further, though, a quick shout out thanks to all the patrons helping keep this channel and the rest of the work at Afterlife Topics going. And some of you guys really dedicated to this, so thank you so much. And you can join that as well at patreon.com/afterlife topics, and you can get involved in the classes, one-on-one work with me, different perks like that if you decide you want to become a patron. So consider signing up over on the Patreon, as well as subscribing to the channel, liking the video, sharing the video if you want to help keep this channel going. To continue, so last night I had a pretty clear astral experience with my father. I'm probably going to talk more about my father in the future because I've also learned some very interesting, unusual things about him since he has crossed over. He was a very unusual person, to say the least. A very powerful guy, both in spirit and in his earthly life. Not always for the positive, to say the least. Nonetheless, I've maintained a relationship with him on the other side, which, for better or worse, to say the least. Anyway, so last night I was in some kind of crazy Art Deco type location, and I don't mean as in it's an Art Deco style location, but I mean it as it's a place that I think was literally in a astral equivalent of like the 1930s, 1940s. And so I was in like this hotel, and the people around there were basically dressed like they were out of the 40s. And being the usual annoying astral projector I am, I tend to go up to them and poke at them and try to get information out of them and be like, hey, what's your name? Where are you from? What do you do? I was kind of doing that. I also even met like this kid who looked about 9 years old, but dressed like one of those quintessential sort of 1920s, 1930s orphans. You know what I mean? They have the hat, they have like a blood bonnet hat, and I think you know what I'm describing. And so I was hanging out with this kid for a while too, so it was interesting. But anyway, so at some point I met up with my father, and I think he just came to visit me, and I don't even know if my father knew where the heck I was. You know, it's my astral parallel self, just like in this life, where I go to different countries, I explore different cities, different environments. I do the same thing on the outside. This is just the nature of who I am, the kind of person I am. And so my father just teleported in, I guess, to visit me because he knew I was active astrally at that moment, and so this was an opportunity. So we were hanging out for a while. And it was nice because he was sober, so it's always nice to see him off the sauce. And yes, this has been an issue over on the other side, on the astral plane as well. Always drinking, just like he was here. So he was sober, and we got to hang out for a while, and I was kind of bragging to him. I told him, I am the world's most well-known astral journalist back on my side. And I was kind of pulling his leg because the reality is I don't think there are any astral journalists besides myself. So if I call myself the world's most well-known astral journalist, it's like saying I am the world's most well-known collector of old deodorant bottles, sticks. Because I don't think anybody else does what I do. I mean, of course, there's many people who do out-of-body work and have books about this type of thing, but I think I'm the only one who approaches it from the angle that I approach it as. You know, somebody going in and trying to pull out objective details, objective information, as well as, you know, information about their society and the specific people that I meet there, all of that. So I'm focused on the society and human-based elements of this type of thing, whereas I think most people are more focused on the spiritual angle and the consciousness development angle, which, by the way, is also something, of course, I talk about in my books and on this channel, but my main focus is the journalistic angle. So anyway, so I was bragging to my father. I said, I am the world's most well-known astral journalist on the internet, so please give me information about your side of life so that I can have juicy things I can make a video about. My father didn't really know what to say, because my father's just like, yeah, whatever, I mean, it's my life, and and this is just, I mean, like, he didn't really know what to talk about. And in retrospect, I kind of get what he means. But then something really kind of weird, kind of funny happened, which is that at some point he went to use the bathroom. And so I was watching him, and he did something very weird, because he looked around the bathroom. He was looking for like an appliance in the bathroom. He didn't see one, so he grabbed the microwave off of the little kitchen table and unplugged it and walked with it into the bathroom. And I'm like, what the hell's my father doing? So I looked over, and he was filling a bathtub up with water. And once there was some water in it, he removed something on the microwave, or if he found a way to access the live wire, basically, or if nothing else, he I think he maybe just dunked the whole thing. Anyway, he stood in the bathtub, dunked the microwave in it, and electrocuted himself. Now, some of you guys might be thinking, that's really weird. Are you sure, Cyrus, this was an astral experience, not some kind of bizarre dream? I was even wondering if that was the case. So when he was done electrocuting himself, he unplugged the microwave and put it back, and he was like in his towel, and he walked back. And so I'm like, what the heck was that all about? And he said, on this side, if you want to re-energize your astral body, because it's not the same biology basically as the body that you're used to having, one way to do that is to fill your body up with electricity. I'm like, all right. I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting. So I asked him, does everybody here do this? He's like, no. This is just, a little, niche thing that some of us know about. But I think most people would be too scared to try it. I'm like, okay, right on. So electrocuting yourself is a thing on the astral plane, which apparently is a lot better than a cup of coffee. I like it because there's this very Beetlejuice element to it, isn't there? When you think of being dead, sometimes it's funny, because the last thing you think about is the kind of ghoulish stuff that you see in pop culture, because they're actually more alive than we are. They're in perfect health. Usually they don't have the same restrictions or limitations that we have, so they always laugh that they're dead, whereas in reality they sometimes call us dead. We're more dead than they are. But then you see this kind of thing, and it's kind of funny because it's a little bit ghoulish, like I'm gonna go recharge myself a little bit, and then go bring a live wire into the bathtub with me. Now here's the caveat to this. My father's a strange and very addictive personality, and the fact that he wasn't on the sauce in my life, the only time he wouldn't be on, he's not drinking, it means he's substituting it with something else. Fortunately, when I was much younger, that was a lot of times cocaine. But surprisingly, he never took it again. But I would see him other times, like when he fell flat on his face, he had literally no money to spend. He went from on top of the world to getting in debt with the wrong people and not having a dollar to his name, me supporting him sometimes. And when he couldn't buy alcohol, he was obsessively buying or drinking coffee. He was obsessively drinking coffee, like anything to get an addictive fix. So why would my father, like almost in mid-conversation, have to go and electrocute himself? Well, I think it's because that's his latest addiction. Like, he's addicted to the electricity now, and so it can't kill him. But that gives him this incredible surge of like power on that side. If I'm sure it's painful too, but it's like whatever. It gives him this huge surge, and maybe it's a natural way to get a quote buzz. Quite literally speaking, is by sticking a live wire in water. So for this reason, I will say, when you die, I do not recommend doing what my father was doing. This could be another element of his addictive personality. That being said, despite him electrocuting himself, he seemed to be doing well. And I do want to mention, some of you are watching this and thinking, well, that can't be real. On the other side, there's no microwaves. We don't eat things. We're floating balls of light. Well, look, as we know, on the astral plane, it's a copy of this world with higher dimensional physics. That's what it is. And everything that's here is there. It's just that we have much greater mental power than we, could dream of compared to here. But still, everything is intact. Everything's the same. We have bodies that look like our bodies, but they're composed of kind of molecules that are very thought responsive. I believe you can still harm that body, but it's not going to be from something so silly as electricity. It takes a lot more. So you have powers there, which for them are completely normal, but for us would be like, wow. And yes, if you want electricity in a room or in a hotel, then just like here, you have electricians, you have people who connect the wires. And if you want to heat up your food, just like here, you stick it in a microwave. You want to go stay in a crazy 1940s style place that's just like locked in time, then you stay in a hotel. So it's just like this world. It's important for people to remember those concepts. So that's not as weird as you may think it is. That is how the other side, how the astral plane, how heaven, if you want to call it that, operates. And this is a very weird little story that I want to share. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Have you ever heard something like this? And if you're a medium or if you're a projector yourself, can you find a way to verify that information? If that's really something that people know about happening on that side. If you can verify or cross-corroborate that, comment below or send me a message. Get involved with Afterlife Topics and Metaphysics, the Facebook group, or just shoot me a message or anything else. And also afterlifetopics.com. Pick up a book like Understanding Life After Death for more about this type of stuff. And I'll talk to you guys next time.